Hello, boys. This is Dr. Infinity, and welcome to White Pill Media.
Beefaroni's fun to eat.
Beefaroni's really neat.
Beefaroni's quite a treat. Hooray!
Yippee! For
beefaroni.
beefaroni!
I can't take it anymore.
This video has been long in the making. This is my overview of King of the Hill. I'm just gonna give a little intro, a little backstory. I never watched King of the Hill as a kid. We were more of like a Simpsons family, so this is my first time watching the show. I think as a kid, like I saw it on TV every now and then. I thought like the art style just looked kind of weird, a little off. So I never really got into it, but some friends of mine had seen it and they would talk it up. So I'm like, okay, I'll just sit down and I'll watch it finally. So it took a while, but it's done. This is just going to be an overview. It's not going to be a ton of clips because I don't want this video to be like several hours long, where I break down each season in every single episode. I really don't want to do that. So it's just going to be like what I liked, what I thought was bad, overall thoughts. Hopefully this video is like 30 to 40 minutes. Hopefully it doesn't go longer than that. I don't want it to go longer than that. I guess you could look at how long the video is right now and see if I was close to that. But I ended up liking the show quite a bit. The earlier stuff more than the later stuff, and we'll discuss that in like the later seasons and just kind of where the show started to break down. But some of the early stuff is incredible. It's just incredible. It's very good. Really big recommendation if you haven't really seen King of the Hill. I'm happy I saw it. And in comparison to The Simpsons, I've only really seen the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons, but I think I might like King of the Hill more. There's still like a lot of Simpsons I liked, but I was watching some older episodes with some people lately. Some of the episodes were just like, here's a reference, here's a reference, here's a reference. Like, it doesn't exactly like stand up on its own two legs, if that makes sense. Relying on like referential humor, whereas King of the Hill seems to be just, I don't know, just like more self-contained, but like humorous without that. And I like how they do like guest voices in King of the Hill more, rather than The Simpsons. It's just like, hey, here's this celebrity, right? Like whoever they could book or whatever, where in King of the Hill, they're just like voice acting for the most part. There are a few exceptions. Something else before we get into it, I was somewhat disappointed with Boomhauer because he can't really have his own episodes like Dale or Bill. He sort of has his own episodes, but not really. Like they're very rare. And he's just something I felt was like an inherent weakness in the show. And I think he could have just been like a guy in the neighborhood, a background character, because he does like a voice that no one can really understand, but the guys understand him. It's like that's like a little gag, but it's not enough to be like one of the four guys in the alley. So that was like one thing. And another thing is like I kind of wish like Bobby had kept aging, because I was like, oh, Bobby's like grown a few years, during the first few seasons. So I'm like, that's really cool. We'll see him like in high school and whatever, but that doesn't happen. Characters just stop aging, and then that's kind of that. They seem to kind of lose steam. I'm going to have clips every now and then, but I don't want to overload the video with just clips after clips after clips. Season 1, let's just go right in. So in Season 1, the animation's a little rough, but like there's a charm there, and still some like really good episodes. I think like definitely like I think everyone knows like the sex ed episode with Dale on the phone. You don't know me. But I know where you live. The camping thing was pretty good. Oh, and the introduction of Cotton, of course. Introduction of Cotton for Bobby's birthday. You don't give a toy without batteries. And going to the female lawyer convention. The family smoking episode. Good stuff. That's kind of it for Season 1. Something else I didn't really care for overall in the show, and I'm glad that it stopped happening, but there's obviously, Nancy's cheated on Dale with John Redcorn and has continued to cheat on him. A running gag where Dale like really trusts and loves his wife, and he can't even fathom that his wife would betray him in this way. And I'm glad it stopped after a few seasons, but that was somewhat annoying. Just because it's like, Dale's not like a bad guy, so he's like, here's this good person, or like mostly good. He's funny. Guy just being cheated on and betrayed, and it's like, I don't know, not great. Season 2 is probably one of my more favorite seasons. I don't know if I have like a favorite one, but I have a lot of notes for season 2. So, season 2, starting with the shooting contest episode, that's great. We have Dale's line, guns don't kill people, the government does. And this is just such a good episode. This is something where I think maybe The Simpsons is a little less than, because you have like good bonding moments where it's like Hank and Bobby. You know, it's just like more grounded. And I think this is probably one of the best episodes in the show, or at least it's one of my favorites, where it's just like they don't win at the end, but they have something better than winning, you know? They have something better than winning here. The tornado in the trailer park, this is great stuff with Luann, and...
Sir, if you're calling me a liar, you better be holding something stronger than an umbrella.
9 iron?
Y'all have a nice day.
Luann, let me try to explain. I have a beer can. I tip it over. Now, is it still there?
We have that Halloween episode where it's like Hank has some flashbacks where he's really like a piece of shit and an asshole, you know, in his own flashbacks where he's attacking his own house as a kid. Hank fishing with crack cocaine. Bobby becomes a fat boy model. Ooh, from what I've seen online, people really don't like this episode. I think this is great. I really think this is great. And I think Hank is 100% in the right. If you have someone you care about, like a friend or a family member, and they're going to publicly embarrass themselves really badly, and I would say especially now that everyone has a cell phone and everything's just being recorded all the time, so it's never really going to go away. It's like, yeah, Bobby, you're going to embarrass yourself. Like, you know, he's 100% in the right, and I love that song.
Hey, where do these go?
Right here's fine.
We meet Mr. Strickland for the first time, and yeah, that's a good little episode. Bobby and Connie join the wrestling team. It's a little annoying because it's kind of like a female sports thing or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, just by stating that, you kind of like know what the episode's going to be about. But I did like Hank telling Bobby that Connie killed his frog, but it had a good ending. Ooh, the Manger Babies. Manger Babies is great. I'll play a little bit from that. That's great. I know not everyone loves it, but I think that's phenomenal. That's really good. Joe Sixpack is great. That's really great for Luann.
If God doesn't get here soon, we're all going to die. Maybe it's best that we do die. Who wants to live in a world without God? You're right.
The episodes where it's snowing really bad. Hank's thinking about leaving the propane business, but he comes back to serve people. That was good.
Can I come too, Dad?
You bet, son. If you can catch a bobtail on the fly, you're welcome at Strickland Propane. Come on. Slow down, Joe Jack. Slow way down. Slower. Just stop the truck.
We have Traffic School with Bobby finding the white nationalist website. That's great. And for our 2-part finale leading into season 3, we have the Megalomart explosion. We have some good back and forth with Hank and Luann.
Megalomart? Why don't you just go down to hell and work for the devil?
Good thing that I don't have dangerous brain powers, or right now you'd be in 1,000 little pieces.
For God's sakes, it's flammable.
I could have gotten that.
You would have never gotten that.
Uncle Hank! Oh, I guess you think you're going to work right now, off to sell propane in your fancy vest. Hope you like walking, though, because I took your car keys and I flushed them down the toilet.
Luann, have you seen my car keys?
And it's just very, very solid season. I would say, it might have the most of like memorable King of the Hill episodes, at least for me. Or it's just like, kind of like you have a lot in season 2. You have a ton. And like the art style's great. You know, season 1 art is a little rough. Season 2 looks good. And then it mostly carries with that good animation style for the rest of the show. So, season 3 got the Megalo conclusion. Ooh, the couch episode. The couch episode is just, it's simple, it's good, it's King of the Hill. It's essential King of the Hill. The guys find a couch, they soup it up, and the couch is gone by the end. I really loved Bobby crushing on the new girl Marie, and him just squealing. Him squealing at that party is so good.
Marie!
There's the Hank hunting with Bobby episode. They don't actually go hunting, but Hank lets Bobby drive the truck at the end. They hit a deer anyways. That's nice. Bill's depression episode, like, Bill has a few, like, depression episodes, and they're usually pretty good. For the most part, I like Bill, like, a lot. Yeah, him dressing up as Lenore at the end, and he's just, like, really fucking lost it. That's great. Ooh, the volunteer fireman episode, they all had, like, their own version of the story. It's kind of like Rashomon. I think that's it, that black and white Japanese movie, where it's like you get the different points of view. But this is one of the few times where I'm like, wow, Boomhauer's great, because it's his point of view, and everyone is talking like he talks, and he's just talking completely normal. That's wonderful. Oh, there's the Bobby watching Boomhauer's house. We have the whole Bobby and Luann marriage thing. Hank drives his mom and her friends to a miniature museum. Bill is trying to replace Hank and takes their trash into his house. That's, yeah, good stuff. We got that little flashback of Cotton helping his wife with the dishes.
I'll help you with your dishes.
Mom, what should I do?
Then we have the Dale as the sniper in the tower episode. That's great. Ooh, this is a really good Luann episode. This is really good, where she's having problems at beauty school, and she starts seeing Angel Buckley, and she decides to go to community college at the end. It's like, I wish Luann had, like, well, I feel this way for, like, all the characters, right? But, like, Luann especially, she's not that bright, but she's a nice person. You want things to go her way. You want life to succeed for her. You want her to be successful. But I don't know. She's going to community college. Then it's like she stalls, and then we're back in square one. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, at the end, it's like their wedding anniversary. They do the skydiving thing, and yeah, Peggy hits the fucking ground. And she changes, like, quite a bit. I'll talk about a few of the episodes, but she's changed quite a bit after, like, the parachute thing. And then, yeah, going into season 4. So, yeah. Started season 4. We got Peggy in the wheelchair. We have G.H. Good Hank. I love Good Hank. That is a phenomenal name. A nice, like, little thing between Cotton and Peggy. Cotton's able to help her out a bit. And, yeah, she can get back on her feet, literally. Most sitcoms where it's like Simpsons. I don't really watch Family Guy. But you know what I mean? Just actors, like normal TV shows that aren't animated like sitcoms. The dad is kind of the bumbling idiot, and the mom is kind of the glue holding the family together. King of the Hill breaks that, you know what I mean? Where it's like Peggy is more of like a narcissistic, kind of selfish person. She's not like bad, definitely not all the times, but it seems like Hank is our more stable parent, right? But she's kind of like unraveled even a bit more like after season 3 going into season 4, right? Oh, Hank is forced on vacation. This was a good episode. And he's teaching shop, and he's this really popular teacher, but Peggy is just like super petty and vindictive, But it was a good episode for Hank, right? Where it's just like he can do shop. He can give these kids something that's actually like useful. And good. So I did like that. Hank's practicing this like football throwing thing, you know what I mean? But we have Bill's Cajun Bill's Cajun family episode. They go to visit them. I'll throw in a little clip for that because I just love Bobby there.
Well, I need a window seat because this flower is wilting.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, the Thanksgiving episode. This was another thing where it's like, Jesus, man, what is with Peggy? So they're traveling for Thanksgiving. They're grounded at the airport. Peggy hears a rumor about like a flight that's going out, and they go to the wrong gate. She doesn't apologize. Flights get delayed until tomorrow. She also stops them from boarding to beat others to the hotel. Hank's conscience gets at him, and he lets another family on the bus, and they're stuck at the airport together at the end of the episode. And Peggy never apologizes for this. And I know, like, Hank's not perfect. No. You know what I mean? It's not just, like, bashing Peggy, but I'm like, holy Jesus. What is with that? Like, that's, like, kind of nuts. Hank ends up meeting his double at Megalomart. And I just really love Bill and Dale in this. And just waiting for Hank drunk in the alley when he goes off with his new friend all night. And then Bill and Dale trapped in the bulldozer. There's some really great moments there. Ooh, the Y2K episode. Dale has a gerbil and a hamster. And it's germster. Herbal? No, it's germster. It's gonna be germster meat. But one of my like favorite clips in the show, which just made me really laugh, was Dale and his like kind of friend who we never see again. They go to an animal shelter to buy some dogs to eat. I have to throw that clip in there.
What happened to your power drill?
It's gone. Got rid of it. Traded it to a fool for a sack of corn.
My friend Chappie and I both have wives for whom we are looking for presents.
Christmas dogs to put under the tree.
Well, how about this lasso-opso?
No, that's way too small.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Now, this one's old and kind of ropey. My wife would not enjoy it.
Maybe you two should step away from the cages.
Please, my wife is in a wheelchair. All she wants for Christmas is a big fat dog with lots of meat on his haunches.
I'll take all 9 of those little dogs on top. Wrap them up.
Strickland is going through this divorce, and Hank is given the Sugarfoot restaurant to hide from Strickland's wife. Debbie is trying to seduce Hank, and Debbie ends up, being found dead in the dumpster. And who voiced her again? She's a famous actress. Yeah, it was Reese Witherspoon. Good stuff there. Then we have the Boomhauer ends up going to the mental hospital, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be a Boomhauer episode. And it's kind of like an everyone's episode. It's kind of like a Dale, a Bill episode as well. Everyone just kind of ends up trapped in there. I had the country music episode. There's the country music episode where Peggy is convinced that a songwriter stole her song, and he was like stealing songs. But it's just like Peggy's just kind of like going crazy this episode, right? Season 5, we have the presidential election episode and all that. But we have Mitch the stunt pig.
God, Mitch! Bobby, no! That's pig water!
Oh, the Buck and Bobby episode where Buck and Bobby get into more and more shenanigans. And it's like, I was kind of like a little worried that it would go like further than this, that this would be like the start of like Strickland's like wacky adventures. You know what I mean? Where it's just like kind of it would be kind of a Simpsons thing where it would be like really flanderized. And then Buck is doing more and more extreme stuff. And like it does get silly and weirder at the end, but like that's like as far as Buck goes, I want to say. Like, it's nothing like more crazy than getting involved with some like back alley gamblers, right? Peggy is subbing at the high school, and she's flunking their star football player. I actually like Peggy in this episode, and I like that she stays by her guns. I don't know what like boosters. I guess they're just like adults that are really into high school football, and it's like I'm not really into sports, right? But I just remember being a kid and playing baseball, and we were just like at practice on like a Saturday, right? And we're like in middle school. I want to say it was middle school, like maybe 6th grade. And we're just throwing the ball around, like people are just having fun. We're playing catch. And then it was my friend's dad who was like an assistant coach. And he's like, you guys aren't taking this seriously. So we all had to line up. And he's like just drilling people and like asking questions like, why are you here? It's like to play baseball. It's like, okay, yeah, why are you here? And it was stupid. I really hate that with parents. It's like, dude, 99.9% of us don't have what it takes to go pro. Not that we want to go pro, because like, the amount of people that can actually like play a sport professionally and make enough money for it to last the rest of their lives, that's like non-existent. It's like insanely low margin, so it's like, just let's have fun. Like, damn. So, whatever. That's a bit of a tangent. Sorry about that. But just that episode got to me a little bit. I don't like that. I don't like parents that take just children's sports too seriously. Just let them have fun. I think sports are good. It's teamwork. It's exercise. It's competition. All these are good things. But it's just make it fun, right? Make it fun. Ooh, Christmas episode with Bill where he dresses up as Santa and starts a winter wonderland in his yard. This is great. But he won't take down the Christmas village, and he scares off the one woman that was, willing to give him the time of day. These white trash come by to take advantage of him, and he treats Wally as like his pseudo son. Yeah, very good episode with Bill. Bill is solid. Oh, there's just bad episode, but Bobby ends up getting a ventriloquist dummy, and then Hank ends up like loving the dummy more than Bobby. I don't know, like Hank didn't really like learn or change. It was just because the dummy got destroyed that he's like, oh, I guess I like Bobby now. Or I don't know. Didn't really care for it. Oh my God. Hank the pimp. Oh, when Tammy starts working at Strickland. That's great. Just Hank in the pimp hat. That is so good. And then we have Alabaster showing up. He's the Mac Daddy of Arlen County. Great stuff. Bobby in the doghouse. Funny episode. Nancy is like old now, so Dale is working on suing his cigarette company for secondhand smoke, giving Nancy wrinkles. He insults Nancy. One of my favorite things is Bill and Dale singing the beefaroni song. Just, it's in the dark. They're watching TV and eating beefaroni. You know what's worse than singing this song with your friend Bill? Singing this song alone. Not that I've ever been there singing beefaroni, watching TV in my underwear. That'd be pathetic. Anyways.
Beefaroni's fun to eat. Beefaroni's really neat. Beefaroni's quite a treat. Hooray! Yippee! For beefaroni!
Got the prom episode with Bobby and Connie run into some problems with some high schoolers. Bobby goes to high school by mistake. This is just kind of a nice episode. I was kind of disappointed with like the whole Bobby-Connie thing, because that just kind of stops after a while, and then Connie's not really a part of the show that much. Like Joseph too. Joseph's kind of gets ridden out for the most part. But that also kind of happens with Luann. That's just, disappointing. Season 6. The animation is different. They've kind of like started to work it in. They've kind of like kneaded it into the show where it's different. We have the Bobby, that's my purse thing and just kicking guys in the nuts. There's that. We have Dale as the president of the gun club. God, Hank and the guys posing as Mr. Big, so he can be a soldier of fortune. That's great. Peggy on the field trip. Peggy picking up the little Mexican girl by mistake and only getting off because of her bad Spanish. That's great. That's really good. Ooh, and we got the Jimmy Carter episode. I think I'll play a clip from that where it's just, it's Cotton's here and Hank and Cotton's relationship is very strained.
My father said he wouldn't obliterate me? His words?
Now, do you recognize his right to exist? Wonderful.
Valentine's Day, where Bobby ends up becoming like a little Bill, and he just has a breakdown, and he's just heartbroken and just embarrasses himself. Renaissance Fair thing, where I think Alan Rickman is here. Alan Rickman is the king, right? And the fair is just, it seems like, I know we're in an animated TV show, like it's a cartoon, but it seems like cartoonishly misogynistic. So there was that, and then Peggy just kind of comes in, knocks the king down, just belittles Hank, even though I think Hank is a pretty supportive, nice husband, Ideally, you'd want to be in a loving relationship with, you both respect each other. But it seems like Peggy just kind of putting Hank down, even though I don't think Hank was really trying to be a jerk or anything here. But regardless, Peggy starts working for Alamo Beer. They've poisoned some people and they're moving like poisoned beer down to Mexico. A couple good bits from here. Hank's talking about the bond between a beer company and their drinkers is sacred. There's that. Hank waiting in the darkness for Peggy.
Now, just calm down. The bond between a beer company and its loyal drinkers is sacred. Hello, Peggy.
Oh, hi, Hank.
Unless there's a reason you don't want to drink it.
There's no, I can't think of her.
Oh, Luann's like back. Or she might have been, or I thought she's been gone for a while. Luann's joining a sorority, which is actually a cult. And then Hank has to shoot some emus. So obviously very good stuff. And then we end out the season with two-parter where they go to Japan, and then we meet the war widow, and there's that. So that's season 6. Hooray. Season 7, Hank doesn't approve of any Bobby's music except for a band called Fourscore, and all the men in town are being ranked, and Hank doesn't rank very highly. But at the end of the day, it's a sleepover thing where their kids are playing 7 Minutes of Heaven, and Hank just lets the kids be kids. And it's just a sweet ending. It's a good episode. It's King of the Hill. You know, it's King of the Hill. That's a King of the Hill episode. God, we got the barbecue episode. Oh, God, like the eating contest stuff. It's just kind of gross, but whatever. Bobby and home ec. This is another bad episode where, like, Peggy is jealous of her teenage son, you know, for doing some home ec stuff around the house. We got the doggy dancing episode. That's a good one. We have the the friendship tunnel. The friendship tunnel is so good. That's a great episode too. Peggy's bookstore, where like she's running it with Dale, and Peggy says Gunt. This definitely precedes Gunt. I don't know if on YouTube if I should really explain what Gunt really means. It's not like how Peggy says it. It has a different meaning now, I think, when someone says Gunt. But I think she predated Gunt by several years.
So, the sign says you're selling guns now?
Oh, the sign. That old thing. You know, the T fell off. It's really supposed to say Gunst. But surely you didn't come here today for a Gunst.
Ooh, Pig McGillian. We have Michael Keaton running the pig butchering plant. I like it. This is a creepy episode. It's good, though. This is, like, really dark, but good. I like it. Luann starts being a female boxer, and I'm, like, 99% certain that the guy from Diggstown is here, and he's voice acting. Yeah, it's Bruce Dern, and he's, like, one of the fight promoters in this episode, but he's also, like, the kind of the main bad guy in Diggstown, which is this boxing movie. It's got James Woods and some other people. It's like these two hustlers come into town, and they set up this boxing event to win some money off some people. It's a really good movie. It kind of feels like it's made for TV and all that, but it's solid. Check it out if you haven't seen it. But there's that.
No, we're just
scouting talent. Yeah, I'm a boxing promoter, and we're just here scouting talent.
There's this big sale at Strickland, and Bobby is made a little associate, and Hank gets bought by Thatherton for a little bit. I like Thatherton. Thatherton's like, that is like, yeah, reasonable King of the Hill villain / rival. He works. He really works. But Bobby gets a little lesson at the end. The animation is being like spliced a bit, like here and there, where it's like it's changing. Like just for some scenes, it's like the new stuff, and then the rest is just the old stuff. And I don't know, they're just like working it in. And it does stand out, though. It does stand out. Buck's life is in ruins. We have flashbacks of Hank meeting Buck for the first time, and then there's this the sobering kind of moment at the end with Hank where they're wiping down these tanks. It's like, it's nice. Bill giving them all lice, and Bill in jail, and yeah, a good episode. We have the Hank racist episode with Lady Bird. There's that, which is like the entire town like kind of overreacts and thinks the worst of Hank, and that becomes a plot point for like a few episodes later on. It's like, it's a little ridiculous. There's still like some amusing moments here. Bill brings in a bunch of pigeons in, and then they hire this female exterminator. Nancy gets jealous, and she goes out with Dale on a job. Really good clip there.
Nancy, shoot it!
I like that Dale won't cheat on his wife. I like that he's still a stand-up guy, but there's a part of me that wishes, like, just actually do it, just to kind of, like, I know it's, like, fucked up, but it's, like, even the score a little bit, you know what I mean? Because she's always going to have that over you. It's just, I don't know. It's bad. It's just kind of bad situation to be in. Like, it should just be a divorce, but yeah, it is what it is. Bobby gets these tarot cards, and it's really good. These guys are great. This is that's great. Season 8, we have Patch Boomhauer. Boomhauer's little brother comes to visit, and this is one of Boomhauer's like only episodes. This might be like his episode. There's also like he was a main plot point for like when Hank and the guys as teenagers like crashed his car into not the gorge, like the quarry, into the quarry, right? And they're going to drain the quarry. But this is one of like his few episodes, and it's fine. Peggy gets mistaken in Mexico, thinking that this guy's like hitting on her and trying to seduce her. And yeah, this is a good episode. Oh my God. One of the worst episodes in the damn show is Bobby doesn't want to take a shower at school, right? And there's this bull run going on. So Peggy is putting testosterone in Hank's coffee, and Hank's like lifting weights. And this is so bad. This is one of the worst episodes in the show, and it's new animation. It's so forgettable, but just so bad as well. Awful. God awful. Bobby gets pushy about money here, and then Bobby thinks they're actually rich, and they go on a spending spree. And, you know, Hank just sits him down and like, hey, we're going to talk about money for the household. And Bobby's just kind of sobered by the experience, and he decides to keep the jet ski for a little bit just to keep Bobby happy. Good moments between them. Just, yeah, really good moments between them. Luann has dropped out of college now to be a hairstylist again. She and Bill have a little episode together. It's like hairstylist where he has to pretend to be gay. There's that. A flood episode, and Bill has taken over the shelter. The entire town is like now against Hank, even though Hank is a stand-up good guy. And then somehow Bill has like a one-up over Hank. An annoying episode, just annoying. Connie doesn't get into a program because she's Asian and there's too many qualified Asians. And this is the first appearance of Lucky as a background guy. And I don't think he's named Lucky. He's just there. And like I had a friend warn me, like as soon as Lucky like appears in the show's not really great anymore. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. And they were kind of right. But that was season 8. Season 9, it was a retcon with like Peggy and like, you know, those flashbacks from before with her mom. Those are all kind of gone because now it's like they have a ranch, and her mom's really different, and we never see her mom again, but it's just really different. And this is one of the few times where it's like, here's just a celebrity, because it's like, here's Henry Winkler, but it kind of fits because it is about like celebrities moving into like Montana and like more rural areas and making them into it's more like LA or wherever the hell they came from instead of adapting to the areas they're moving to. Horrible episode with Mrs. Wakefield, god awful. Dale reading the Warren Report, and he loves America and reports Hank to the FBI. Terrible episode with Hank taking in that military family's cat, and he just wastes the family's vacation fund. Really bad episode. I don't really have any other notes for season 9. All I have is the Smoking Bandit episode is lame. Those are like my other notes, and I have like a little write-up for each episode, but none of them is like being good or interesting to talk about. That's annoying. But yeah, that's it for season 9. I have Dale Loves America as like an alright episode, and none of the other episodes are really anything I want to talk about. Season 10, Connie and Joseph, they're just kind of gone. Con has an episode where he's like joining a liberation group to try to take back Laos from communism. I didn't realize Laos was still a communist state. I think it still is to this day. So there's that. So I learned a little history from that. So that's something. Propane guys get together, and this is a funny episode. They start price fixing together. It's highly illegal. But we have the American Chopper guys, and this is like another kind of standout where it's just like, it's actually just the American Chopper guys playing themselves. So it's kind of like Henry Winkler. It's more of like a Simpsons thing, you know what I mean? But the price fixing is still good. Bobby Clown College, that's terrible. Buck gets kicked out of his favorite strip club and tries to make the office more fun. All right, and it's just, boys, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, Donna is hot, right? Like, she's attractive, right? It's not just me. Like, I'm not insane, right? There's something with Donna, right? There's something there. Moving on. Season 10 had so few episodes that I was forced to find Donna, who's like an okay-looking office woman, attractive. That's how bad the show got, guys. That's what we're dealing with. There's nothing else to talk about for Season 10. There's literally nothing else to talk about in Season 10. I'm sorry. Oh, so Lucky's hanging around, and then he wants to get his GED, and Peggy sabotages him. Not a good episode for Peggy. We get to hear Lucky's pee-pee at the Costco story again. I'm going to now list all the times that I laughed when you've heard that story, because you've heard it several times in the show. Did you get it? Okay, moving on. Season 11, Peggy meets this drag queen. Not a favorite episode for me.
Mom, she's a real woman. And
You mean a biological woman. Just because you were born a male doesn't make you any less of a woman.
Bill barbecue episode where it's like all of his family is dead, even his cousin Gilbert or Gilbert. Is it Gilbert, not Gilbert? I don't know. But Bill wants to take the family recipe public, but, Gilbert puts a stop to it. But it's a Bill and Bobby episode bonding. It's like, yeah, solid Bill episode. Ooh, there's the ZZ Top episode where it's just, hey, it's ZZ Top. Really stupid, really dumb. That's a Simpsons episode. And that's what I mean by that's like, it's the worst that the Simpsons kind of does. It's not like the good Simpsons stuff. And there's a lot of good Simpsons stuff. I'm still like a fan of it. Right, at least the early stuff, but that's just bad, like really bad. Ooh, there's the propane episode, the little GTA spoof. I don't really have anything super positive to say about it. It's just somewhat amusing. Here's Rusty Shackelford. It's just like, I don't know. I think you're kind of scraping, the bottom of the barrel a little bit. Nancy starts losing her hair, and like I know the message of this episode is that Nancy isn't willing to cheat on Dale anymore. It's like, that's good, because I was like worried it would be like at some point in the show Nancy was going to get back with John Redcorn, and it's like, I don't think anyone really wants that. You know what I mean? I don't think anyone's like excited about that, because everyone likes Dale. They find Dale entertaining. Dale's not like shown to be like, not like an actual like bad husband, like not intentionally. But this episode is like, you are forever going to want to cheat on your husband, so you have to wear a wig for the rest of your life. You're never not going to want to cheat on your husband. So it's like, I don't like that. I don't like that part of the episode. Season 12, Cotton gets sick and he dies despite Peggy. That's something. Hank ends up joining that co-op thing, and Bobby asks, what if someone wants their steak done what was it, medium rare or whatever, and Hank says, we ask them firmly yet politely to leave. That's a good little quote. A diversity episode, there's that. We have this, I thought this one was okay, where Min kind of joins the gun club, even starts to like the guys and even some of Dale's conspiracy theories. It's not really much, but I don't have a lot to work with in these later seasons, so I'll take it. Oh my God. So just some weaker episodes is Lady Bird's death. That's the premise of an episode. Very weak. We have the trans fats, and Hank is a part of an illegal food truck, driving around Arlen. Super weak, like really weak stuff. Enrique's daughter's quinceanera. I don't know. That was like okay-ish. Luann's dad comes to town. Turns out he's been in prison. That's, Season 13, Bill with diabetes is, whatever. We got the Donna's Crazy with MySpace episode. That's where we are with the show right now. We got the Manger Babies come back, and then they're killed. I liked her at least, like, finding, like, the little octopus at the end. What's his name? Gurgle, or whatever. Like, that was nice. It's something for her and Gracie. Gracie? Yes, Gracie. There's a little retcon from the earlier seasons where Hank is like being a dad for the Straight Arrow Boy Scouts. This is a contradiction, I think, from even season 1. There's that. We have Buck's bastard son, Ray Roy, which is just, they're just trying to, they're trying everything here, folks. 4th of July episode, that's just bad. Like, I'm not really listing episodes that are good. I'm just, it's just like bad to okay. Nothing really good. The Canadian Family episode is, or I think it's Oh Canada. Awful, just awful. Manic Con. Con is a manic depressive, which that kind of makes sense with his behavior in the show. That sort of makes sense, but Hank just using him to make the grill, that's not ideal. I will say that's not ideal. But the end of the show with Hank and Bobby, they're alone, they're bonding a little bit, and they're just grilling together at the end, and we have this panning out of Ireland, and that's it. I think that's probably the best they could do for an ending for the show. As you can kind of tell, I had a lot more to talk about with like the first several seasons, like from season 7 going to before. I had a lot more like, hey, this is good, where like the last several, it's just, man, there's really not much. There's really not much to go through. But the early stuff is like, wow, phenomenal. Just really phenomenal stuff. I don't want them to do the reboot. I hope they don't. I know Dale's voice actor just died recently. I know Luann's voice actress, she died, I think, several years ago. But it's just like, just don't do the show. Just do a new show or whatever. But it's like, you're already like beating a dead horse for a while, for the last few seasons. So don't do another, I hope they don't. They probably will, because nothing goes right. I'm really glad I saw it. This is really good. One last thing is, I wanted to have like one image from a really great episode from each season, but as you can tell, I did not have one for 9 or 10 or 12. There just weren't like any good episodes in there. And like even for like seasons 8, 11, 13, it was like there was like one episode. Where for the earlier seasons, like I was spoiled for choice. So that was just something as well, a lack of like your really memorable episodes. And I didn't even like really just dip into like just the boring, forgettable stuff, which is super prevalent in the later seasons. Some of the worst episodes, I'll just list them off for me. I just took little notes. Connie's like druggy cousin comes to visit. That's just bad. Peggy jealous of Bobby's home ec skill. Yeah. Testosterone Hank, just like the animation style. Yeah, and the animation style towards the end. Like something is lost. Just like animation-wise, like it was just like classical kind of, I don't know if American style is like the right word, but it had like this unique style, right? It was iconic. It's just, I feel that way about like, I'm not like really into anime, but I've, some like the older shows and whatever, I'm like, I like the art style a lot. It's like just looking at some of the new stuff, it looks too glossy. There's too much CGI, and I just really don't care for the art nearly as much. It's like I feel that same way of like King of the Hill, where it's like, yeah, the older stuff, it had the right animation style and the writing was a lot better. Flood episode is just kind of silly. Hank taking in the vet's cat, ruin his family's vacation. It's like, fuck you, Hank. There's the mega church thing where like they're pissy over losing their seating in church. There's that. Peggy sabotaging Lucky's education. Peggy and the drag queen bits. Nancy's hair loss. The Canadians episode. Miss Wakefield. Ooh. Bobby going to clown college. Not funny. Dusty old bones. Oh, that kid's like scaring Hank. Yeah, that episode sucks. I just want to do an overview, list off some of the stuff I liked. It took a long time to watch all of this, man. I was doing like 3 episodes a day. But geez, I'm glad that this is kind of over. So now I can just watch more movies and stuff. But I have some other reviews on this channel. I'm actually going to do a little King of the Hill ship posting videos. We'll see how they go. But it's King of the Hill, but it's American History X. I think I'm on to something there. I've been able to piece together some clips, and it's like I'm cobbling it together. But I'm probably going to hold on to that for a little bit. So maybe sometime in October I would release that. It might even be a 2-part thing. But yeah, we'll have that King of the Hill shit posting. Anyways, I got other stuff on my channel. And check it out if you want. Thanks for watching. And Dr. Infinity out.